Hey, good evening. Wednesday, August 12th, Wednesday evening. Thanks for tuning in, watching. I'm going to be continuing with this series about how we cast out fear that John talks about. He gives us very simple instructions we're looking at in chapter 4, where he tells his readers that there is no fear in love. But perfect love, or complete love, drives out fear. Because fear has to do with punishment. But the man who fears is not made perfect, not made complete in love. So we've been looking at specific applications because the Bible says many things about love. And it gives us some specifics to look at it. So we looked at the general concept of love getting rid of fear, driving it away, pushing it away. And then this morning we looked at the application of 1 Corinthians 13, where Paul gives these definitions of love in a very straightforward fashion. Love is patient. Love is kind. Well, if love is kindness, then we can read back into our passage, kindness drives out fear, just as patience drives it out. Because see, when I'm patient, I'm living in the expectation of God's care. I'm expecting Him to act. It's an act of boldness and courage. I don't care about the circumstances. I can trust God. See, the fruit of the Spirit is not laid back, passive stuff. The fruit of the Spirit is active stuff where God is being honored. And it's amazing what that means if we live that kind of life, that kind of freedom. So the next thing that Paul says in 1 Corinthians 13 is love is kind. So how does kindness drive out fear? Well, kindness is the very opposite of what you want to do when we're afraid. We fear someone's reaction. We fear their concerns. Sometimes fear manifests itself in rather subtle ways. Yes, there's the obvious fear of something big, strong happening to us, or fearful, or whatever massive fear we might have. But sometimes there's the fear of people. And that fear of people drives us into manipulative behavior. It drives us into this whole passive-aggressive thing. Instead of being straightforward, instead of trusting God, we come up with other ways to say things. We kind of in through the back door. We kind of come in through the side door. We kind of drop the hints. We sort of want people to kind of get it. But you see, that's not honesty, and that's not loving. Love, casting out fear, kindness, casting out fear, is to do what Paul urges us to do in Romans and return good for evil. The power of an act of kindness that both disarms someone who's upset with us, shows that our intention is not to hurt them, but to honor God. And it actually blesses the person. Instead of trying to think through some roundabout way to get someone to get on board with you. See, there's a blessing here. If I'm engaged in love in the way that God calls me to, if I'm consumed with love, what Christ calls me to, this is how we know that the world knows we are His. If we show love one to another. If we really care, if we're patient, if we have the courage to be kind, then I take fear and I shove it away. I drive it out. I'm committed to truth. That's a blessing. Let that power well up within you so that you are engaged in kindness. Because as you engage in kindness, you engage in love. And when you engage in love, you engage in battling fear and driving it out. And that's the good thought to end on this night. You rest well. Love is kind and it drives out fear. Good night.